Hello, I'm Matt Mazzola, and I recently found out about SideWaffle, and I'm interested in making a multi-project template for SharePoint. So if you're not familiar, basically when you create a provider-hosted app for SharePoint, you get a small project that installs into SharePoint and another project which is actually an ASP.NET web application, and they reference each other and need both projects. So I've tried to go through this before and it didn't end up working, so I thought I would record myself going through this tutorial, and then I would submit it to the creators of the project and hopefully they can tell me what I did wrong. So here it goes. So I've already downloaded SideWaffle and downloaded the Visual Studio SDK, etc. So I'm going to go create a new project and see, we'll go to Visual C, Extensibility, V6 project, we'll call it SP for SharePoint template, and we'll just store it in the root folder. I originally tried putting it in normal directory and it was complaining about long path names, so I've learned to put it here for now. So I'll enter my name, save the file. Okay, so done with step one. Now we're going to add this line to the assets. So I'll go view code. Oh, first I have to install template builder project. Okay, yep, so these two are added, and I'll go ahead and add the third line, which includes a template builder DLL. Close both of those files. So now we're on step 3. So this part I had tried, I'm not actually sure. So basically I'm trying to create a SharePoint project. So if I open a new instance of Video Studio and I go to new project, I go Visual C, Office, SharePoint, Apps, this is the one I would normally click. And so I originally tried going to, let's see, the folder where the templates actually are. Common, IDE, project templates, and tried searching for a SharePoint app to figure out, which VS template project is actually creating that in the first place, but I couldn't actually find it. So through some searching I found this to be a possible, there's 3 projects here and there was 3 on that window I just showed you, so this assumed to be it. So based on that step I need to recreate these 4 folders within my file. So let's go do that. So I'll right click the project, open File Explorer, start adding some folders. So we'll say C#, project templates, C#, Office, SharePoint, Apps, and 10033. So now I have the folder structure recreated. And now let's go back to the tutorial. Alright, so we just did basically step 3. Now you have to actually create those 2 new projects. So in this new instance of Video Studio, I will go new project, I'll click Office for SharePoint, Apps, App for SharePoint, type in template projects, just like the tutorial had. From my understanding, the name of this solution doesn't matter, it's only the name of the projects. So we'll turn off create directory and then we'll browse to the folder I had just created. So SP template project, whoops, So I want the projects to exist here. So I will go ahead and click OK. Here's my developer tenant. It's all good. Alright, so projects are created. Eventually, alright, ignore the git. So here's the two default projects that I'm going to be creating a template out of, and as you can see, there's the Sharepoint project and there's the ASP.NET Web project, and the Sharepoint project references this one. So let's go back to the tutorial. Also, we can verify that they were created inside the other solutions directory. Alright, so now it's saying referencing the new projects folder structure and the template project. So we'll go back to our template projects, our SP template. We'll show all files, expand those folders we created. We're going to include the one just above the two new projects, which include everything. And then it says, even though we included those two folders, we don't need any of the files within the actual projects. So now I will open these and select everything and exclude. Okay, we'll do the same thing for the other project. Okay, so now we turn off all files. We can see that it's back to normal. Alright, so now we've just completed step 5, and now we're going to start adding the project item templates. So go back here, say add. Let's actually just open the folder and do it from Explorer. Okay, so I'm just going to add text file, call it my template.vs template. It's okay. Do the same thing for this. Okay, so let's go ahead and include those two files. Here we're going to make sure we copy the text from tutorial. Alright, so in the tutorial they're referencing specification, but obviously that name is just unique to his tutorial. So we'll open up the Sharepoint projects and we'll paste in the code. So we'll just call this one Sharepoint. Well, we'll just abbreviate it, keep the name short. Sharepoint project. And so mine's not going to be named specification at all. I actually want whatever they type in to replace. So here's the safe name. We'll completely replace that. And this is another part where I think maybe the tutorial doesn't necessarily meet. So not only do I have a project type of C# way up here, but it lists a subtype here as I've highlighted, but I actually have 3 folders worth of subtypes. So I wasn't actually sure what to put here, but for mine, the only one I know of is Office Space Sharepoint, because that's my next folder down. So that would be one possible error I've introduced there. Here we continue on, and we see this next line I've highlighted. This one needs to be changed, right? So I'm not going to have a specification, and this right here needs to match my project name. So if we go back to the other thing, it was actually called template projects. Oops. So it will replace template projects with project name, and the rest should be fine. So go back to tutorial, copy the other snippet, and this time we're doing the ASP.NET web project. So in order to just keep my naming conventions, the other one was SP project, this one I'm just going to name SP web project. And for here, if you notice, the actual convention for SharePoint apps is to have one with just the safe project name and the other one with safe project name with web appended. So I interpret that as me putting web right here, which is basically concatenation. I'll update the sub-project name again, and of course down here again I will make sure that template projects web is replaced with whatever they type in plus web. Okay, so save that. Those two look good. So now we're on step 7. So this I tried before. I was a little confused, but basically it says when you add this item, name it the same as the existing folder so it doesn't create a new folder. So what I'm doing here is it says, let's see, right click on the My Multi-Project Waffle folder. So in my case, that would be the apps folder, right? So we'll go add new item, we'll go extensibility, SideWaffle definitions, and we want to name it the same as an existing folder. Alright, so it did work. I must have done it incorrectly the other time. Okay, so here we go. So now I've got my definitions. So now we're on step 8. So I'll copy this. So I actually only care about the C# one, so I'm going to open that one and replace it with what they have in the tutorial. Another, I guess, interesting note is all these end in a hyphen instead of the actual spelling out template. Not sure if that's a known thing or expected. So for me, I'm going to say this is called SharePoint Waffle Tests Project, and I guess default name will be SP Waffle Test. Or actually, this is the name that will be defaulted into the wizard, from my understanding. So this can be like a, I don't know, whatever you want. SharePoint template test. Okay. So again, these are the things they say to watch out for. Pay attention to the project links. So for me, the first project, which is at template projects. Oh, spelled it wrong. My template vs template. That one will take whatever they type in with no real modification. The other one will take in it as the web suffix, and then we want again to have the web suffix on the actual project. So this is how it should find those two files. Again, I'm suspicious of it only being a C# project type when there is a subtype in a bunch of their folders, but we'll let that go for now. So now we're on step 9, adding the preprocess files. So this seemed pretty straightforward. Add a new item, preprocess. Remember to take off the 1 on all of these. Preprocess, and we're going to add it for the actual root folder. Preprocess. Okay, so now we have, just like in this picture, 3 preprocess files, and we're going to edit those to match. Now in the tutorial, they reference the file path here with no slash. I assume that's just a glitch in the tutorial, but I think I know what they mean. So for multi-spec basic, this essentially is their root level one. So this is my root level one. I open that one, and it's gonna replace with what they have, only I don't have a multi-waffle folder. I have an Office SharePoint folder. Okay. And now let's just close everything so don't get confused. Alright, so next one is their specification. So we'll copy this. And mine is, whoops, this preprocess. Let's paste that in again. So this is another part where, yeah, I'm confused. It looks like it says up here, you can specify the path where this should show up in the new project dialog. So if that's true, then I want it to follow my entire folder structure. So Office, SharePoint, apps, let's see, 10033. Okay. So I'll copy that. Well, I guess I can leave it for now. And yes, project name should be replaced with whatever they type in. Let's do the other one. So again, we want this to be matching. And again, we want to make sure we have the web suffix on there, so whatever they type in, it'll end up being that. Okay, so now we've completed step 9, and that's saying all we have to do is build, and we should end up seeing it in the new experimental version. So let's go ahead and try that. So I'm let's see, making sure I have this selected. Push Control F5. So here's my experimental instance. As you can see in the header, I click New Project, Office for SharePoint. Now, since I know it's kind of broken, I'm just going to explore here to prove to you guys that it can't be seen. So basically, since my SP template has, let's see, if I view the code here, I should see SP template, I believe, as the project name, and if I don't see that one, I should at least see one of these other projects right here, such as, you know, SP web project or something. So again, here back in the experimental, we're not seeing it at the root, but that's kind of expected because we'd actually told it to go in the apps folder. So now we go in the apps, and I still don't see it anywhere. So this is where I assume somehow I've got some sort of pathing wrong. Oh, you know what? Actually, that's the Visual Basic folder. We were actually in the C# folder. So we'll scan the whole C# folder for my custom project. It's not there. We'll look in the Office SharePoint. It's not in that one. And if we actually go all the way down to the apps folder, so this is actually the correct C# Office space SharePoint apps whatever 1033 should be in here, and I'm not seeing it. So hopefully maybe one of the people can tell me what I did wrong, or if anybody else out there has created a template using SideWaffle out of a SharePoint project, that I really appreciate knowing what tricks need to occur to make this work. Thanks.